So as an entrepreneur, before I've put in a COO, before I've got somebody like you, what do I need to be thinking about? Because if I hear your definition, it's really innovating, right? It's not just saying that everything else, it's innovating for a specific reason to drive that efficiency. What should I be looking for? What should I be thinking out? Where are those opportunities?
So 2 components to this, Damien. Number 1 is tackling this question of the COO. Because the reality is, I think the reason we wait so long to bring in operations is because we think the only possible operational role is COO. Therefore, I have to wait until I'm really big so I can afford this really expensive person. But like any other department, there's layers to operations, and you don't have to wait to get that multi-6-figure COO. You can, in my recommendation, anywhere between like the 50 to 100K per month mark, you can hire in what I would call an ops manager. That's an entry level operational hire. They cost, 60K per year, more or less. And they're going to do the bulk of the operational efficiency that the business needs, because at the size, the business just isn't that big. And there's not that much inefficiency. There's not that much complexity. So you don't need this really advanced COO, but you also don't need to wait to start to realize the efficiency gains that an ops manager could bring into the company. So that's the first permission slip I want to give to your listeners, is like, an operational hire doesn't have to mean a COO, and you don't have to put pressure on yourself to find budget and space for that level of person, when really what you need is somebody who can manage day-to-day systems, day-to-day workflows, processes, SOPs, start to help you build and scale out your team and manage your team with you. And you're going to see enormous ROI from that person way earlier in your business growth. So that's the first piece. It's like, know the level of operator that your business actually needs, and frankly, don't pay for a level of experience that is well above what your company needs at its current stage of growth. And then second, you asked, let's say that I don't have that operator, what should I be looking at or looking for as a CEO? This is a tricky one, Damien, because most CEOs that I know don't have the operational lens, right? Again, going back to that original business with me and my boyfriend, he was literally not seeing the things that I was seeing. And I know that because I stepped into the business, and in my first week, I found $50,000 leaking out of their company in a billing system, right? So if he had seen it, he would have done something about it. The challenge is that visionary CEO lens is much more growth-oriented. It's focused on driving top-line revenue. It's focused on the technical skills that CEO brings into the business. It's not focused on the billing system. It's not focused on the bad SOP, right? It's not a part of that reality. And that's totally okay, because I believe the visionary lens, that's what your company needs you to be filling. And so in my own experience, Damien, like I know this stuff, right? Like I'm a pretty good operator, but I find it challenging to be both the visionary and operator for my own business. And I hired out an operator. And when that person comes and works with me on whatever I'm focused on in the business, they're like, Jonna, how are you not seeing all of this inefficiency, all of this waste? And I'm like, holy shit, like I know these things and I don't see it. And it's because the visionary is so at odds, that lens is so at odds with the operations lens. And so I guess my way of answering your question, Jamie, is as a CEO, I wouldn't force yourself to try and wear both hats. I would really double down and master the CEO visionary hat, because that's where you're going to drive the maximum level of growth to your business. And then I would give yourself permission to not try and step out of that and also wear this operator efficiency hat. I would just find the person who's able to wear that hat for you full time. And that's where you're going to get that kind of combination of superpowers.